We're ready to rock. We're back at it again. It's been a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back with the Lock Spread Pod. Got a lot of shit to talk about today, Seal. I feel like we've, missed a lot of huge events within the past few weeks.
Definitely have.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like right off the bat, we could dive into baseball because we're in season there. Got to start off with the fucking Yankee greatness that happened with Domingo Germán. I just honestly could not believe that. Waking up to that news was just.
Oh, you didn't even watch it?
No, I mean it was annoying. I mean, first off, they're playing.
Oakland.
Yeah, they're playing Oakland in Oakland. It's a 10:00 start. I usually try to watch the games while I'm just eating dinner, working at night. But that was obviously a later game, and I think I was just pretty shot that night. And I wake up to a text from Dean. He's like, "Bro, did anybody watch this game?" And I just woke up to all these different notifications, like Domingo Germán perfect game, 24th in history. I'm like, what the fuck? This is absolutely absurd.
It must have been the 7th inning, and I literally happened to be flipping through channels, and the news came on, and it was the sports spot of the news, the 2 minutes of a 30-second. And there happened to be Domingo Germán is perfect through 6 innings. I was like, oh shit, might as well put the game on. Every pitch I was like, no, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. Sure as shit, he did it.
I know, right? It's actually absurd, and especially, I mean, this is why baseball and sports are so great. If you look at the 2 starts prior to that, I think he had a combined 13 earned runs in 4 innings or something. That's crazy exactly that.
What it was, yeah.
Yeah. So just the fact that you can go from something that bad to becoming the 24th perfect game in MLB history is just nuts.
Couldn't have happened to a worse guy, though.
I know, yeah. I mean, that's what everyone's saying.
Out of anybody on the Yankees, I would have been a lot more happy than him. I was like, oh, really? Yeah, you got to put his name up there now?
Yeah. Even his, initial reaction, I thought was just priceless in a sense of, I don't know. It wasn't the normal oh my god, I've done this. He just was everybody get over here.
He just wanted to celebrate.
Yeah, he just wanted to celebrate. He's like, I fucking did it.
That was cool though. Afterwards, usually it's just the pitcher and the catcher standing there taking pictures. He literally had the whole team. He's like, everybody come here. We're squad picture. They just won the World Series. It literally looked like a Little League picture. Everybody got in together. It was so funny.
That's awesome though. I mean, again, it's just nuts. I mean, the last perfect game was in 2012, which, weird enough, I think there was 2 or 3 that year.
There was a 3-year span where there was 4 perfect games.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there was a perfect game a month apart from each other. I think Matt Cain and then Felix Hernandez, a month later.
That was pretty nuts. And then I don't know if I know we had been talking over social media with it, but if you saw what was happening in the MLB at that point too, the Astros were still in the NL Central, which completely was in the back of my mind. I completely forgot about that. The AL West only had 4 teams at one point. Whoever thought that was a good idea was clearly should not be having a job. But
the other crazy thing about Domingo Germán's perfect game is every pitcher that's pitched a perfect game for the Yankees, their names have started with a D.
Really?
And in those years, the Yankees have won a World Series.
I was going to say, I did see that, which, I mean, fuck, man, we need that luck right now. We're not even in the playoff picture at the moment.
No, they look bad.
They look bad. We need a healthy Judge back, and we just, need to put it together. I don't know what's going on right now with us, but right now we're sitting in 4th place in the AL East, and not too far behind us is the Red Sox. So, we need to step it up in the second half. Hopefully this All-Star break is just what they needed to just get their juices back and everybody healthy. But yeah, we definitely need to grind it out. I mean, I'm curious to see what we end up doing with the trade deadline coming up. I mean, I know I see a lot of names being thrown around, but do you see us potentially getting anybody?
Well, actually, the past week they had the Cubs in town, and they kept mentioning Cody Bellinger, because they definitely need an outfield. They need a corner outfielder, if especially if Judge isn't going to be there. But yeah, he's having a pretty good year in Chicago. I think it's his first year in Chicago.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he signed a 1 year. Honestly, that's a great name, because I mean, I've been seeing Soto's name getting thrown around a lot, which, I mean, believe me, I would love to have him, but I just don't know how realistic that is. I feel like the Padres are probably going to just try to ride it out. They know they have a good roster. It's just putting it all together. But Bellinger's definitely a good name. I mean, if Chicago's going to be out of the race, he's obviously on a 1-year deal. We know that the talent's there. I mean, he's a former MVP player. Like, especially, and then just putting that lefty bat in our lineup in Yankee Stadium, I think that could be pretty huge for us. I mean, we could use that rejuvenation from him.
I'm pretty sure he's a Gold Glove outfielder too.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, that would be great, especially. We keep Bader out there. We get Bellinger on the corner, and then once Judge gets back, we can kind of rotate him and Stanton, just like DHing, and the other one playing the corner spot. That way, it's not too much pressure on Judge coming back to play the field.
Yeah.
Do you know what the timeline is for him? Because I feel like that's all over the place.
They don't even know the timeline.
Yeah, right?
That's up in the air. Supposedly, that injury, though, is like you never heal from it, really.
Oh, my God.
There's always going to be pain in his toe or his foot, whatever it is.
I mean, that's just... Oh, God, that's just horrible luck right there. I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine.
I think he robbed a home run, but he made a great catch against the wall in L.A., and their wall is mad old, so there's literally like a fence. Like, the door swings open. The door swung open, and there's still like 3-4 inches of concrete, and his foot smashed the concrete.
Damn. Actually, so I think that was Soto I saw where he was like running back to catch a fly ball, and I guess he just like completely lost track of like where the warning track was and just absolutely like ran full speed into the wall.
That in L.A.?
No, it wasn't in LA. I don't even remember what stadium it was. Just a couple of weeks ago. I mean, obviously he's fine, but like it was like one of the. I mean, he literally ran at full speed. It was like you didn't even know that there was a wall there, which is just crazy because, I mean, I don't know. As an outfielder, you got to know your surroundings a little bit better with that. Especially, I mean, obviously they have the warning track there for a reason. And it was weird because he had his hand out at first, and then he took it away, and then like kept taking like a few more steps, and that's when it just happened. So
he's probably like, I got room, and
yeah, that was just a shit show. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we just get Judge back soon. Especially, I mean, we need to at least know what the status is. I feel like before the actual trade deadline, so we know what route we really need to go.
Oh, I mean, I would assume the Yankees do have a good idea, but they won't never announce it.
Yeah, they won't announce it. That's fair. But yeah, I mean, I guess current standing wise, how do you feel about it with all the different teams? I mean, it's pretty crazy where some of the different teams sit at right now. I mean, we have the Rays, Guardians, and Rangers in the AL.
The AL East, as good as the Rays were for a while, it seems like it's pretty wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had a losing streak for a while. I mean, the AL Central sucks. We would literally be in first place there, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But the Guardians are always going to be a scrappy team, and they're always going to own that division, I feel like.
Yeah, I have a feeling they
with
will.
the good coaching and,
but honestly,
they just have a good overall roster.
I think the Rangers might be the real deal.
Oh, they are, for sure. I mean, it's crazy. You look at the All-Star team. They had, 4 of the 9 starting players, and then even more like on the reserves. They got a pretty solid team right now.
I think it was like 8 guys, something like that. Yeah, that whole team does look good.
Yeah, no, they're a solid team. I mean,
and no DeGrom.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, it's pretty crazy. They definitely have had some big signings within the past few years, and it's unfortunate that happened with DeGrom. But if they continue this momentum into years to come, like they're gonna be a solid team for years to come for sure. And then especially, with the looming Ohtani free agency, like who knows if he actually is going to end up staying in the AL West, which if he doesn't stay on the Angels, like I just don't see them being even close to a contender in general anymore.
No, especially what they've shown in the past without him.
Yeah,
they can't compete at all.
I'm actually very curious to see where he ends up going. I mean, I know that everybody's just going to throw out any speculation, but apparently during like the press conferences at the All-Star game, like he was talking about how he really loves the city of Seattle and blah blah blah, and they're like, oh,
apparently that's where he lives in the off season when he's in America.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, that would be absolutely nuts if he went there.
That would be very interesting. That'd make them. I mean, that'd make any team heads I don't even know how much better, but ridiculously better.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, they would realistically be. I don't know if you want to say favorites, but I mean they would be very close to favorites in the AL West for sure.
If everything stays the same now with all the teams, like no team gets a player or two, and Ohtani goes to Seattle, they would be the favorite in the AL, in the entire AL.
Yeah,
Maybe the MLB, but the Braves are just,
the Braves are nasty.
yeah, that whole team is ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean that young core, especially, and then you throw them in that pitching staff with Castillo and Kirby, like that's a solid trio right there.
And they have a couple other young guys too, which I think it's like Gilbert, who's also pretty good, and then they got a new dude, Wu,
yeah.
and he's nice. Yeah, so they'll that has to happen. Yeah.
Where are they right now in the standings? They're in third, I'm assuming, right? Because it's the Rangers, Astros, and then them.
I think so.
But I think
I'm pretty sure they have a record close to the Yankees.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure that they would be in the playoffs if it ended today. I'm pretty sure the way. Oh no, actually I don't think so. I think that they're just on the cusp, like we are. Because yeah, I know the Astros would definitely be in it, and then I know the Orioles would be, and then it's just a matter of if it's the Blue Jays or the Mariners. Not 100% sure.
Yeah, they're 6 game back in the West. Nah, we're still ahead of them.
Yeah. Okay. They're a solid team though, so they're definitely one to look out for. I mean,
Yeah, they got a whole young core.
yeah. I couldn't even imagine if they added Ohtani. That would just be absurd.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, so we got those three teams, and that that's the outlook in the AL. But then the NL, what do we got? The Braves, the Reds, which is so crazy. But I mean,
I love
Elly De La
him.
Cruz is
I love
just
that
like
whole
absolutely
team.
carrying. I mean, not carrying them, but like he is just putting on an absolute show right now.
He's showing why he's gonna be the next star.
Yeah.
He's gonna be incredible. Everything he does is sick. Everything he does is amazing.
Yeah,
It's,
he's just an absolute athletic freak of nature.
it's mind blowing. And the funny thing about him, he's got a twin brother.
Yeah.
He's probably like a foot shorter than him, which is just jokes.
That's just so unfortunate for the brother. Oh my god. He just, I guess, ate all the breast milk or whatever when they were growing up. I don't know how that happens, but
yeah,
that's just so unfortunate.
That whole team is actually really good. They got a bunch of rookies. They got at least like 5-6 rookies who are all playing.
Yeah.
They're not doing what De La Cruz does, stealing 2 bases at a time, but their numbers are great, and they look like they have that young core.
Yeah, no, they
that
have
can
a
stay
solid
good.
young core, and then I know we had talked about this earlier in the season that if they didn't end up being in the spot that they are now, they're probably gonna end up wanting to trade Votto, but now he's that veteran presence that they need, on a young team like that that's chasing playoffs and potential World Series titles. So I mean that's great for them. I'm happy to see a team like that where obviously nobody thought that they were going to be anything be in first place now. So that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it if they were to win the World Series. If it's not going to be the Yankees, I'd be definitely okay with the Reds.
Yeah, I would be cool with that. And then on the flip side of that, I mean, it's been the same story all year, but I think that the Cardinals are really just the most disappointing team right now. I mean, they're sitting in dead last in the NL Central,
They look awful.
which is just absurd with the amount of talent that they have. Realistically, they're a team that would probably end up making a move at the trade deadline. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Goldie or Arenado on the trade block.
I've seen a lot more about Arenado. I can't say I've seen much about Goldschmidt, which I
Yeah.
find interesting, but like they will get so many good prospects for.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know, they've always had a good farm system, but I don't think that they're considered to have like a good young core at the moment. I mean, I feel like a lot of their guys are really in their prime, so I wouldn't be surprised if they really just try to strip everything. I mean, both of those 2 stars that you just mentioned are, they're not homegrown talent, so there's no like need affiliation to like keep them in that sense. And then also they're just both in their prime. You might as well just get what you can for them and just bite the bullet and move on. you could get a nice haul for both of them.
I would hope they do something like that. But speaking about the Cardinals, did you see? I guess the home run derby and the All Star game. They had Adolis Garcia, Randy Arozarena, and I want to say the third one was Zach Gallen at one point.
We're all on their team at one point?
All in their minor leagues.
Wow.
Garcia and Arozarena were on 3 separate St. Louis Cardinals minor league teams together.
That's absurd.
And
so what were the deals that got them to where they are now?
That I do not know.
Because that's pretty interesting. I'm trying to think of... Well, Gallen with the Goldschmidt, that would make sense.
I don't even think it was that trade.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see.
That's actually kind of surprising if that's the case then.
Let's see. It says Arozarena was traded for a prospect. I don't know which prospect.
Well, that's just absurd. I mean, now he's literally one of the best players in the MLB.
Wow. The Cardinals DFA'd Adolis Garcia.
That's a tough look.
And then,
That's a very tough look for them.
Apparently, Sandy Alcantara was also a...
What? Damn. I mean, I'm not surprised because, like, again, they're historically one of the best franchises in the MLB, so they always, year in and year out have a great farm system, and they're almost like the Dodgers in that sense. They always seem to have, like, these great guys that they're able to then use as trade pieces to get these bigger name players, but in a situation that they're in now where they're clearly one of the worst teams and completely out of the playoff race, it's, tough to see when those kind of things happen. You have 4 all-stars right there that could have been on the team.
Yeah.
That's definitely tough. I mean, that's like, you look at the flip side of it, a team like the Orioles right now who are just absolutely dominating. They're in second place, right, in the AL East. And
I think they're the second best team in the entire AL.
Yeah.
I think they might have a better record than the Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, they're just absolutely on fire, and they just have, like, such a young core that's in the majors right now, and then they have so much talent that's still in the minors that hasn't even made its way up yet. I mean, so that's, like, going to be scary for the Yankees and then every other team in the MLB that, a team that's this good right now with the young talent that they're going to be able to then keep with them for years to come. I mean, that's like, another Astros in the making, in a sense.
That's exactly what it is.
Not looking forward to that, especially being in our division where we have to play them as often as we do.
The one good thing is now that since they play every team in the majors, we play them less.
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, we definitely play them less, but still the fact that we play them enough as it is, and then also that they're in our division where, like we mentioned before, we literally could be in the playoffs if we were in the Central, but we're out of it because of how good the AL East is. It's just, it sucks to see.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, too. Like, I had so they were, reframing a picture of Sports Illustrated from 2020, and it was, like, highlighting Javier Baez and, like, Tim Anderson's success and how they were going to be, like, some of the best players within the next decade. And currently, they're both the 2 worst players in terms of OPS in the MLB.
Really?
Isn't that nuts?
Javi Baez makes sense because I think that dude got money and just didn't give a shit anymore because he just swings at anything. Like, I think I could strike him out. Did Tim Anderson kind of surprise me because I feel like last year he was an all-star. Like, he's pretty sure hit like 300 last year.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely been an all-star for the past few years. He's just having a crazy down year right now, but it's not even like just a down year. It's like it's
that bad.
God awful.
I mean, it doesn't help that whole White Sox team is just as bad. They're probably one of the worst teams in the MLB.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, yeah, just the whole AL Central is just an absolute joke when you look at the teams in there. I mean, the Tigers, the Royals, them, like,
White Sox,
the White Sox.
They make the White Sox look good. The Tigers and Royals.
It's actually crazy, but yeah, that's just the luck of the draw there. I feel like that's always going to be the story with the AL Central. They're just not a big market, division in terms of, like, the locations of those teams for the most part compared to like AL East and
Yeah, but within the
AL
past,
West.
no, maybe not. I was gonna say within the past 10 years, they've had. I know the Royals were in the World Series a couple years. The Guardians, when they were the Indians, were in the World Series. But I guess that's really it. 'Cause the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean they
Haven't been close in a
put
while.
out some solid teams, but like consistently and like top to bottom, there's never
Oh,
been
never.
what the AL East is right now, where like everybody's over 500 for the most part and like contending.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's just-
annoying.
yeah.
I hate that.
It's actually crazy. I wonder if they're ever gonna do a realignment. That'd be pretty nuts. I know that they've talked about that in other sports potentially, especially if they end up adding more teams, but I don't know if that's going to be the case for the MLB anytime soon. I think we kind of moved.
Did we even mention the home run derby and that stuff?
No, we didn't really talk. Yeah, we could talk about that. So, yeah, home run derby was pretty nuts. I mean, it's like a common trend these past few years that the person that puts up the most home runs throughout the entire tournament doesn't actually end up winning.
Well, at least the first round, because they just tire themselves out, which makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the way they have it set up now I don't think it compares to how it used to be.
I love the way it used to be
Right,
personally.
10 outs,
10
and
outs
as
is
many
just,
balls as you get. Now it's
Yeah.
like
the timing is just annoying.
you could literally get 2 minutes and or I think it's 3 minutes and then an extra. But like these guys are just. It's like you get one-on-one. Like Vlad Guerrero technically had the fifth most home runs in the first round.
Yeah.
But since he was in the whatever bracket, I don't know who the hell he's against. Rutschman would have actually been in the second round, which would have been awesome in my opinion.
Yeah, that was a cool story with him and his dad pitching to him.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
he
mean,
went to
I
the
don't
right
know. It's
side.
just I definitely am not a huge fan of the newer format, even though it's really not that new. I mean, I feel like they've been doing this for a few years now, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say at least like 6-7 years, maybe
Yeah,
5-6.
it's been a little while now, but yeah, I mean, it's not my cup of tea. I mean, it's still fun to watch. I mean, I love
Did you see
seeing these young guys get out there.
Did you see the kid get smoked?
No.
Bro, some kid ate one. Vlad Guerrero, 115 mile an hour, line drive. The kid literally put his glove up, and the ball went boom.
Oh my god.
All the kids around him's reactions was just like, oh, it was hysterical. I feel so bad for laughing, but this kid ate it.
god.
This kid got rocked.
Is he knocked out?
He hit the ground immediately. Immediately. They must have picked him up and like took him off the thing because like he wasn't laying on the ground for after that.
Holy shit, that's absurd.
One thing I wait for every single year is a kid to get rocked, and that kid ate.
I don't think I've ever seen someone get rocked like. I mean, I guess
It happened
not like
once.
that.
Pete Alonso hit a kid.
Really?
Yeah, because that video is great. Because after Pete hit it, he called timeout, and he was on a roll, and the music was bumping, and he's just like sitting in the box dancing. So it literally goes from the kid like getting like helped off the field to Pete Alonso dancing.
Oh my god, that's absurd. I mean, hey, you kind of out there at your own risk, right? I mean, you know they're literally trying to hit home runs, so like if it's not a home run, it's realistically going to be an absolute laser.
Granted, I never really understood why they have little kids out there.
Yeah, no, I don't understand that either. I mean, it should be at least like middle school, high schoolers or something, but
Yeah, you're asking for it.
yeah, you're really asking for it. It's pretty crazy too. I don't know if you saw the stat that the home run derby actually, this was the most amount of home runs ever hit in home run derby history.
That makes sense because I know Julio had the record for the first round.
Yeah.
And
What, he
then,
had 41 in the first round or something?
yeah, it was definitely in the 40s, which
It's-
nobody
that's
ever hit 40.
absurd.
Well, it's ridiculous.
40, anything in the 40s in general is just like, how are you doing that?
Yeah, after he went, it was like, oh, Pete Alonso has no chance.
Yeah.
Who the second round, somebody hit. Rose Reina hit like 35 in the second round.
Yeah.
And then I guess the final round, I don't even know how many Vlad hit, but yeah.
I think it was 25 to 23 was the final,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
That's a huge total right there.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That's pretty interesting, though.
Yeah, no, right? It's pretty crazy. And then just the All-Star game in general, I think it was a great game. I mean, 3-2. I think that was the first time the Nationals have won in a pretty long time, honestly. I'm pretty sure I saw some stat.
2012.
Yeah, I was going to say the last time that they won. So I forget what his name is off the top of my head, but the pitcher that got the W for the National League was the Giants pitcher, and the last time the NL won the All-Star game, Matt Cain was the one that got the W.
Really?
So it was
That's
like the
pretty
last
cool.
two, pitchers to get the W's are Giants pitchers, which are pretty nuts. And then I think that was the year that he threw his perfect game. So it's pretty nuts. It's
2012,
pretty
yeah.
crazy.
That's nuts.
It was a good game though. I mean, 3-2 is just close throughout the entire thing.
It would be cool if they just throw them lollipops and let these guys hit bombs, but it's
Also
makes
like
sense, yeah.
the pitchers are also
Pitchers,
trying
yeah.
to do their thing too.
Not like the NBA All-Star game.
It's pretty crazy, man. Both we talked about them last time, but both of the pitchers that we played against growing up, George Kirby and JoJo Gray, both made the All-Star team. So pretty nuts to say that we played against some MLB
both of them.
All-Stars.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I mean, I'm happy for him. It's pretty cool, especially Kirby. I mean, like, more or less, I think he was. Well, no, I guess JoJo is from New Road, but like Kirby's a hometown kid from where we grew up, more or less. But then also is getting to play in front of his home crowd, being on the Seattle Mariners. So I think that was probably pretty cool for him.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was a Mariner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually saw that Owen Lorenz was there, and then I remember that they played ball together at Elon. So they definitely, he might have like flown.
Shit, I forgot about
He
that.
might have flown like a bunch of his like old players out or something just to like watch him in the
That's
All-Star
pretty
game, which is
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, never got to play with any MLB players, but definitely played against quite a few.
Yeah, right. Fuck you, Rosie. Should have made it. Nah. Who do you think? Well, I'm trying to think of who. Blas and Pete are probably the only two that really had a chance of like making it to the next step that we like directly played with.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they were the only
Maybe
ones that even like
Delhi.
relatively played in. Oh, Delhi too. Yeah, if you want to throw him in the loop. I mean, he got
Delhi
didn't
was
he-
the actual
Yeah,
closest.
he got
they were-
drafted. No, or he
No.
almost got drafted.
They were telling him. I think it was like the Yankees actually were telling him. They were like, "Yo, like we want to draft you," and like this round, and then that pick came up, and they picked another kid.
Ah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that
Delhi, I could honestly. I mean, he definitely had the tools.
supposedly
to
a
make it.
college coach, Monmouth. I think it was Monmouth.
Monmouth.
Isn't it Mouth? Is it spelled Mouth now?
Yeah, but it's Monmouth. Yeah.
Monmouth. All right. Yeah, their coach saw him because he was coaching against him, and he asked him. He's like, "Yo, like you still got eligibility left?"
No, really.
Yeah, he wanted to play on the college team, and technically Delhi does because of COVID, or maybe not. I don't think he played that year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did he graduate in 20?
We're gonna have to talk to him about that.
But-
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, technical.
If he
No,
if he
because
was
COVID
in school in 2020,
Yeah.
then he gets an extra year of eligibility.
Yeah, and I don't think he was because that was my like 5th year that I stayed there. I think they technically would have graduated unless he was doing another year. But yeah, no, he realistically would have been, the person with the best chance to actually make it pretty far there. We could kind of transition into the NBA. I don't think we really talked too much about the aftermath of the Nuggets winning everything. I think it's pretty cool when you look at the breakdown between Adam Silver and David Stern's different like eras of basketball. So right now, Adam Silver, this was his 10th season as NBA commissioner. In those 10 seasons, there's been 7 different NBA champions. So 7 different teams out of the 10. Whereas with David Stern, out of the 30 years that he was NBA commissioner, only 8 different teams won the NBA championship. So it's pretty cool to see that there's
That's
a little bit
wild.
of rotation between the teams that are actually, making it to the playoffs and then also winning the championship itself. And it's not like always a dynasty because I think that, obviously other than the Warriors and I guess the Heat are the only 2 teams that would have qualified in that like the Adam Silver era is like winning multiple.
I feel like the Heat might have been after Adam Silver.
Was it after? Well, yeah,
Or is it
actually it would
20?
have. Yeah, because
It's been 10 years.
10 years, yeah. So
I don't know.
that would've
Maybe
been-
maybe they would have been like the first 2,
yeah.
which I guess is still David Stern's because Adam Silver got what David Stern gave him.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
like
Yeah.
he
No, yeah,
established
exactly.
it.
So even if that were the case, realistically, it is a product of Stern for sure. But it's pretty cool to see
wild.
that I don't really know what he's really like playing a factor in with that, but like clearly something has changed that's allowed for multiple teams to flourish within the NBA, and it's nice to see that different fan bases are then able to kind of like really be able to get into it because they know, like, all right, well, it's not just always going to be the Warriors or the Lakers or the Celtics always winning the championship every year. It's going to be like a new team potentially, so that's pretty awesome to see.
I could think of 3 teams during the Stern era, and it'd be the Lakers, the Bulls, and then the Spurs.
Yeah.
They probably won like 15 of those.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you the other teams, but
I could pull it up real quick. I saw
I have
the
a feeling
stat.
like those 3 are like the 3 main guys. Or teams
Where was
responsible
it?
for that?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Which makes sense because those are 3 of the top 10 basketball players ever.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan,
For
and
sure.
Tim Duncan.
where are you? Here we are. So yeah, Adam Silver era now has 7 different champions in 10 years. The Spurs, Warriors, Cavs, Raptors, Lakers, Bucks, Nuggets. David Stern's era, Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, Bulls, Rockets, Spurs, Heat, Mavericks. So the Heat were technically part of the David Stern era then.
Ah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's pretty nuts, man.
That's crazy. Basketball's weird like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's cool to see that right now because I think that basketball kind of always had that rap that, you know, it's easy to build like a dynasty because all you need is like a couple of good players and you're set.
The interesting part about that is I'm pretty sure David Stern was the commissioner when I think it was Chris Paul was going to be traded to the Lakers, right?
Yep.
That was during David Stern's
Yeah, it
tenure.
was.
And he literally turned that down. He vetoed that.
I know.
That's
Isn't that, yeah, it is nuts. That
that definitely helps.
vetoed trade was just so wild.
right? I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah, that was like the first I feel like that's ever happened really. But like with you know, a player of his caliber just being turned away.
And I guess that goes against the argument of saying David Stern like stacked the boxes for these teams.
Yeah, no,
Otherwise,
that's
you would
what.
have been like, yeah, go ahead.
That's why it is interesting, like the roles that they really play in the situations that arise from that. Because I mean, clearly they that says something. It's just a matter of like the substance of it. You know, it's something to really look into because I think that's pretty interesting, honestly. But mentioning CP3, he has now gotten traded twice this offseason, which is just absurd. First time to the Wizards from the Suns, and now being traded from the Wizards to the Warriors in that Jordan Poole mega trade, which I think was pretty crazy, honestly, because the Warriors gave up a lot. Usually, you know, at the age that CP3 is at right now, and, you know, Poole's like more or less in his prime, and the fact that the Warriors then gave up more on top of that, I think it's pretty absurd that they went with that trade. I mean, they must think that
CP3 is going to do a lot for them.
yeah, well, that CP3 is going to do a lot for them, and they're like really in a win now mode because I mean, all their players are definitely on the older side. I mean, Green, Curry, Clay, like everybody's reaching the end of their prime. So I think that this is their way of being like, all right, we're going fucking balls to the wall, and we're gonna try and win this because I don't even know what that lineup's really gonna be. I don't know how it's much different than having Poole, to be honest. I mean, he's not
going to shoot as much as Poole, but it's funny because 2 years ago you would have thought Poole was going to be the next Splash Brother and everything.
Yeah.
And I guess after Draymond Green knocked him out in practice, they were like,
well, did you see? So right after he got traded, like I guess somebody went on social media and Poole had like unfollowed Green on everything right after that trade. Yeah, so there's a lot of animosity for sure.
During one of like his first press conferences, they asked him, they're like, does Draymond Green congratulated you or like called you or anything, reached out? And he literally just laughed. It's just like, yeah, good one.
Yeah,
and that was the end of the question. You could tell like that was definitely one of the main reasons that this guy is no longer a Warrior.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that definitely played a factor, I think. I don't know. The NBA, it's all over the place. I mean, you look at a player like James Harden bouncing around from team to team. He just like opted into his contract so that he could then get traded just at a cheaper price, essentially. So he's going to be on the move at some point. I have no idea where he'll go or where it makes sense because honestly, at this point, I mean, he's just a floater. but then he's within that group of people that we kind of grew up on.
Yeah.
You look at guys like him, Curry, KD, LeBron, like all these guys are aging out of the league almost. They really only have a few years left until it's completely the new era of basketball players.
I mean, I think LeBron could easily play another 10 years.
He probably could, but I think he's realistically...
He definitely won't. No, he's got like 3 years tops.
He's just waiting for Bronny to get there.
As soon as his son's in there, he'll play with him and he'll be like, all right.
Yeah, I think he'll do 1 year just to say that he did, and that's
play with his son, which I mean is awesome. But, yeah, Carmelo just retired. CP3 is another one. He's going to be gone. Yeah, pretty much that whole Warriors team.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of talent that we grew up on and like made me love basketball. Like, because that was the era like when we first started more or less playing rec basketball and all that stuff. So it's pretty crazy to see them all gone. Yeah, especially like once LeBron's gone, that's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be like all the guys' shoes we used to wear.
No, literally. Yeah,
really, no more.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any guys with like crazy shoe deals like that now, are there? Like new guys?
I mean, they all have crazy shoe deals. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
But like, I should word it better. Like that, nobody's like rocking shoes like LeBron's, Kobe's, Jordan's, like anything like that. Like with these new players, right?
No.
Like I don't think any of them are like that popular. They all have their shoe deals.
No signature shoe is like sells like all those.
Yeah.
I think that's because like Jordan is now like as popular as it's ever been.
Yeah, well,
I think I actually saw something about that the other day. Jordan is now, like, not restocking shoes, but like coming out with the same shoes again, just because like they're even more popular. I don't know how they.
Yeah, like all the OG retro ones are definitely making comeback because I feel like I see that a lot with like golfers. Honestly, I don't know if you've noticed that. And I've been watching a lot of golf videos, and a lot of people are like, shoes. Yeah, they're wearing like the legit like OG, just Nikes and Jordans in general. And then a lot of them are being like customized into like turf cleats in a sense, just for golfers, which is pretty cool, honestly. I don't know if you saw the Capital One golf tournament. I forgot what like the actual. I think it's literally called The Match or something like that, but it's athletes from different like sports leagues that play in it. And it's like this year's one was like Travis Kelce, Mahomes against Curry and Clay.
I remember the first one they did. It was literally like Tom Brady, Phil Mickelson, and like Peyton Manning, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I think that was the four of them.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool, honestly. I watched a good amount of it.
No, I can't say I watched that. I watched the original one because I remember Samuel L. Jackson was announcing it.
Oh, yeah. It was also funny because it was Draymond, obviously, with the Warriors, and then Von Miller with the Chiefs, which I thought was weird, to be honest, but whatever. Then it was just like Draymond chirping the entire time. I'm like, this guy just doesn't stop.
Wait, so they had 3 players golfing per team? Or were they just like an extra guy there?
Just doubles, and they just had an extra guy there, I think.
What is it, caddying?
Not caddying, but like almost like, oh yeah, I think you should, just like give him the support. It was pretty cool though. They were all nasty. I mean, like obviously they're athletes.
Did you see Pat Mahomes' new house?
I feel like was it like really new? Because I feel like I saw
literally like just finished built like within the past week.
Oh no! Well, yeah, no, I haven't.
So I don't know how many acres it is, but it's got a 30-yard football field in the left corner. I think it's technically 50 yards with the end zones.
Okay, yeah.
Got the half thing here. You got the mansion, and then he's got a par 3 in his backyard.
Like one par 3 hole or
yeah,
course?
One par 3 hole.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I would love that. Is it in KC or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's technically Kansas City, but it's in Missouri. I would assume like the suburbs right outside of Kansas City.
Yeah.
Like if you were to live like New City from.
Well, when I was there in April, was it? I had done that like Kansas City Chiefs stadium tour, and the woman was saying that like there was like a specific area where like all the athletes lived pretty much.
Did it start with an M?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Musha something.
It might have been, I don't know, but it was like, you know, relatively like right on the outskirts of the city, the suburbs for
Makes
sure.
sense. Yeah, they're probably the rich ass suburbs.
Yeah,
It's literally the people that commute to their rich jobs in the city live.
yeah.
It's literally like where we live.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's pretty much every suburb is like people that just fucking hate the city and
True.
they obviously still have to work there, but they want to be able to get away when they can.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Who else?
Sticking with the NBA, we can kind of talk about. I mean, we had the NBA draft relatively recently, and Victor Wembanyama was pretty much the consensus number one overall pick. Ended up going to the Spurs, where, you know, honestly, they lucked out. I mean, they just seem to keep lucking out when they do have the first round pick. I mean, the last one being Tim Duncan. So,
And the one before that was Oscar Robinson.
yeah. So I mean,
Robertson.
realistically, this is looking to pan out for them. Although his debut wasn't so bright, but I mean, you know,
His
it's just a
second game, he
debut.
put up like 20-something points.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I mean, just got to get the butterflies out of you.
Granted, the first game, literally the day of, you hear what happened with that? Fucking
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, that shit was nuts. Do you know, like, was she just like trying to like get
Did you
an
see the
autograph? No, I didn't. I just heard about it.
She kind of looks like a crackhead.
Well, she is a crackhead.
If you
so.
see her on the street, you'd be like, "Get this lady away."
Yeah.
She like walked up. He was literally like walking with like these dudes that are bigger than him. Like think about how tall
Yeah, he's
those
like
guys
six-
have to be
Fucking,
bigger than
what
him.
is he, like 6'9" or
Yeah,
even
he was
taller?
like 7 foot. He's like
Yeah.
7'3". And these
Yeah,
guys
that's
were
absurd.
literally towering over him. First of all, but they're
That's absurd.
surrounding him, and he's walking like in front of them. And she like tried to like walk up past him. She wanted to like pat him on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, hey, hey." But as she went to do that, she probably like hit him once. This guy just like and like hit her in the face.
Just like literally tossed her.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh god. Britney Spears, man. She's a crackhead.
But at first it was like I need to see this video, and it makes a lot of sense. Like she ran up on him, like these guys got paid a lot of money, and like apparently this dude Wemby does not care about anything but basketball.
Yeah, no, I've heard that before for sure.
They had who the hell is it? The Fanatics dude, Mike.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ruben. Yeah.
Apparently he like last weekend he had a big like he invites either all the rookies or all of
he had
the
his
summer league.
Yeah, he had his whiteout party.
No, not even to
not
that, to like the club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was like all the rookies like from summer league. He wanted to invite them to the club, and Wemby was literally like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go home and relax."
Damn. Yeah. Hey, that's the mindset you need though to be great. I mean, you fucking hear all the stories of Kobe in his heyday. You know, he first one in, last one out, there till like 4 a.m. doing his workouts and everything. I mean, that's the mindset you need to be great, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully it pans out for him. I mean, he's definitely got the raw talent. I think he may want to bulk up just a little bit. You know?
He will. He's 18 years old.
Yeah. He's 18?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't even realize that, to be honest. That's young.
Yeah, it's like all these guys. They get into the league, and it's like they're literally got kids. Like he has a kid's body still.
Yeah.
He doesn't have fucking. He's long, but that's it.
That's nuts, dude. Where is he from again?
France.
France, yeah.
Yeah, 27-12 in his second summer league game.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean that's a solid stat line for sure for your second game out there in the NBA, right? That's awesome. Excited to see him actually play when the season starts back up in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can kind of jump into UFC. We had pretty big card this past weekend. If you want to dive into that.
This was actually the best card the UFC has put out in at least 7-8 months, maybe the past year.
Mm-hmm.
And it did not disappoint. I think there was 2 decisions on the entire card.
Wow, that's solid.
Yeah. Some great fights, I must say. I think there was 4 knockouts within 40 seconds.
Holy shit.
4 knockouts in the first round within 40 seconds out of like a dozen fights.
That's absurd. I didn't even
They were
realize
going
that.
hard.
I watched
on
like
Saturday.
the very ending of the card, but you know, it definitely seemed like a great card overall.
Yeah, they were going hard.
What'd
Yeah,
you
I
think of
think
the
it was
Volkanovski fight?
Volkanovski is the best fighter in the UFC,
Yeah.
hands down. I mean, Makhachev beats him, but that's just because he's got the weight advantage and he's bigger. If Makhachev had to go down to 145, Volkanovski wipes the floor with him. But it's wild watching this dude fight.
Yeah.
Like he used to be he used to just play rugby up until like 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. 200-pound rugby player, and they were like, yeah, just throw some punches in the cage, see what happens.
Yeah, right. Oh my god. Yeah, no, he's absurd. I mean,
The whole fight, he was kicking the shit out of Yair, right?
Yeah.
Rodriguez. The final combo was something out of a video game. He's piecing him up on the feet, piecing him up, throwing hooks, uppercuts, 1-2s, and all of a sudden, just fucking picks up the legs and pile drives him. And then just starts pounding him on the ground. It was literally like weaken up your opponent, fucking take him down. Like, that was their game plan. They knew exactly what they were doing when they got in that cage, and they were like, yo, Volk, it's time. He was like, all right. You gotta pull that video up, though. Volkanovski final, or Volk finish against Rodriguez. Volkanovski versus Rodriguez finish. Yeah, they'll never be able to find the full fight a week later. Yeah, that first video should be it. Yeah, they do some crazy shit with YouTube. They like don't let you post anything that has to do with UFC.
oh yeah, I mean, Danny's got his fucking hands all over that. He's smart though. That's the way to do it. The money machine this league.
Yeah, and like when guys like take him to the ground, they'll usually just like start wrestling him. But Volk will do exactly what he's doing. He's like, oh, I'm gonna take him to the ground and just continue throwing haymakers, and it worked so perfectly.
Hopefully this little guy loads. Let's see it.
That's not the finish. To the body, to the head, picks him up, drops him. He's like, well, oh, and they're not even going to show it? Wow. And as soon as that, he literally got on top and just continued punching him in the head.
Yeah, I mean, you could just see he was absolutely dominating him there. He really is so fun to watch. He's one of the best fighters for sure.
He fought Max Holloway, I think it was 3 times, and in the first fight, Max beat him in a round. Like, he was beating the shit out of him. And ever since that round, it was like Volkanovski was like, I'm never losing another round ever again.
Yeah.
And now he just demolishes everyone.
Yeah, I love that though. It's the mindset you need. Do we know who like the next potential contender for him really is?
The hell is his name? Yeah, it's not the Polish dude. I want to say it's. Damn, I'm never gonna be able to remember his name. It's a weird ass name, Ilya Topuria.
Yeah, I would not have.
The dude's a monster. If anybody's gonna be Volkanovski, it's this guy. Oh, he's a Georgian.
Okay.
He's humongous.
Yeah. Would not have thought.
They actually had a stare down after the fight.
Well, that's what I was going to get into next also with the Adesanya and his opponent for the next card.
Yeah, Dricus Duplessis, I think that's his name, or Dricus
Yeah.
Duplessis. Izzy's amazing. Izzy knocks out everybody but Pereira. I mean, now he does. But the whole knock on this dude Duplessis, he's a really good fighter. Had no gas tank. Up until this last fight, This dude had no idea that he's been fighting with like 5% oxygen intake in his nose.
What the heck?
Like his nose has been so clogged up, so he got it fixed. And like that might be like the key to his like being the next best guy, because if you put like he's a really good fighter, if you put a gas tank on him, like he's gonna be a problem. But it's just so funny, like this guy has fought 15 fights.
I was gonna say he
professionally.
hasn't had many fights.
No, like professionally, he's had like 15 fights. I'm pretty sure.
Is that considered a lot though? I feel like that's not that many.
I mean, it's still a good amount.
Yeah.
But like he had no idea. His shit's just been clogged. It's probably been broken enough times where like get fucked. But yeah, now it's not. So he could put up a fight, but every time everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's gonna beat Izzy," Izzy destroys them.
Yeah, I mean, Izzy's my favorite fighter to watch. I mean, he's just so good.
He's
But, I mean,
very-
realistically, these two, him and Volkanovski, are my two favorites. I mean, they're just really fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, that whole interaction that they had after, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. That guy Duplessis won was
that was
pretty absurd.
That was I was not a fan of that.
Yeah,
that was something straight out of like WWE.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
literally like amateur hour. It's like, oh yeah, let's get the champion in there. Like this guy just fucking fought somebody. Like just fought somebody for 15 minutes. Like beat the shit out of this guy, and like now you're gonna be like, all right, let's do this. Like no, like let this guy enjoy his moment. Let him.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was a little
Be
much
like,
for
yeah,
sure.
I won. Not get the guy. Like I hate shit like that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. It was a little much.
Fucking Dana White.
Yeah, fucking Uncle Dana. We could kind of transition a little bit just to talk about like the college atmosphere. I think it's pretty crazy what LSU's been able to do with the product of sports that they put out on the field. I mean, the fact that year in and year out their NFL, I mean they're not NFL, but their college football program is always spectacular. Their basketball program, women's in particular, won the NCAA tournament this year, and then they also now just won the baseball tournament. I think it's just absolutely crazy.
Go Tigers.
Yeah, they're just spectacular out there. And then, I mean, even I think their gymnast like team and stuff like that too are like considered like top tier.
I mean,
I think just all around they're just like considered. I would consider
they are
them
known as like one of the better D1 schools to begin with.
Yeah.
But speaking about not LSU, but Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of found out more about like that whole gambling thing
Oh yeah.
with the coach. So they found out that the guy that was going to place the bets literally walked in with $100,000 cash, and anything over like 10 grand or 25 grand is like not allowed to be placed at a time. Normally, when it comes to college baseball, you're not allowed to bet over like a certain amount, like a couple grand. When this guy was trying to place the bet, he was literally telling the person behind the counter, he's like, "Don't worry, I got inside knowledge. I'm gonna win." While placing the bet.
That's absurd.
He also, while standing at the register, apparently this guy texts like that. The cameras of the fucking sports book were able to see his phone so clearly they could literally like zoom in and read his conversation, which happened to be with the coach of the Alabama baseball team.
Oh,
So they were
my
like,
God.
"We got you dead to rights."
Yeah, really.
But yeah, dumbest thing ever.
That's just absurd.
And I actually think the reason that happened was Alabama was playing LSU, or no, I think they're playing like Florida State. But whoever it was, they were like, "Yeah, our pitcher's out, so they're gonna win."
My God, how stupid can you fucking be, really?
And now now I'm pretty sure that guy goes to jail for like a while.
Oh yeah, I'm
That's-
sure he will for sure.
That's some fraud right there.
Yeah, no, that's pretty nuts. Yeah, I mean, kind of the last thing I really wanted to talk about. I don't know if you had saw this and just what your opinion is on it, but all of the media layoffs that happened within ESPN. I mean, they pretty much got rid of everybody except for like Stephen A. and
Well,
like,
you
a
know
couple
why they
other
did
people.
that?
Why?
Because they're gonna have to pay Pat McAfee all that money.
That really.
It's 110% the reason why. Just because they're getting Pat McAfee. They were like, shit, we can't afford this.
See,
Good
like
by everybody
that
else.
big of a personality to have. I mean,
They think they're going to get his audience, which is a huge audience, like millions of people.
yeah.
But that's not going to happen because people like Pat McAfee because he's not ESPN.
Yeah, yeah.
And once he goes to ESPN, it's going to be more of the same.
What kind of contract is he getting?
A lot. Like, I want to say 7-8 figures.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty nuts. Jesus. Was he still with Barstool currently? Or was that where
No,
he was?
that was like his
That was his
first thing.
Yeah. What was it? So he was just doing
He was
his
at
own thing.
Barstool, and then he went to like CBS. He
Oh,
had a
really?
show on the radio at one point, which like they had to stop cursing for like a little bit, and then that was like short lived. But like his podcast has stayed strong like throughout all of this.
Yeah.
And then I think they were just like strictly podcasting, and then FanDuel was like their, like they were like FanDuel's podcast at one point.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. And now I'm pretty sure they'd still be sponsored by FanDuel unless DraftKings doesn't or ESPN doesn't let them, but I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know what the ins and outs of that.
But yeah,
I don't know what the ins and outs of that.
most
would
of those
entail,
people were like people I remember growing up, and like now their shows on ESPN are just like it's like the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, I mean, it's
literally
just,
the replacement players. Like,
it's
who
horrible.
is this guy? Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. But
And
I
just
think-
not even like that they're like no names. I feel like just like the personalities just
yeah,
aren't
they're-
the same
they're
whatsoever.
Not, no, it sucks.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
don't
that's
know.
pretty.
I'm pretty sure that was why, because they're bringing in.
I mean, that would make sense, I guess, but at the same time, is that I don't know. That's a pretty poor management decision to let go of that many different personalities across like all these different sports just to have one person.
It's ESPN. I don't think they really know what they're doing.
I mean, clearly not. Yeah. I think that was really all I think we needed to cover today. I don't know if there was any last minute things you wanted to talk about.
We didn't get to the Yankees advertisements on their jerseys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
So
Tell us about
the
that.
New York Yankees are now sponsored by Star Insurance.
Well, it's just a fucking random thing to be.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, Star Insurance with 2 R's. 2 R's. The company is paying the Yankees $40 million a year for that.
That's nothing.
Exactly. Sell a couple more hot dogs. I would have rather them charge more for a fucking beer.
Yeah, literally.
Because I know for a fact the prices aren't going to go down. It's not like you're like, oh yeah, we're going to get cheaper food now, cheaper drinks now.
Yeah, no shot.
And they just ruin the jerseys. The whole thing, like the tradition of being a Yankee now, it's ridiculous. Like it's in the garbage.
Yeah.
The no facial hair thing, who cares anymore? Why don't they just put names on the back of their uniforms now? Like
Yeah.
all of it is just so ridiculous.
And for a company that's
That's
I mean,
nobody's
it's just
ever
a
heard
no-name
of.
company.
Nobody's
yeah.
ever heard of. It couldn't have been like Montefiore or maybe like a hospital in New York. Like
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
what the Mets are doing, it's like, all right, it's a hospital. Like that's cool. Hospital in the area. No, Yankees were like, yeah, we'll get it. Some random ass company.
Yeah, that's just absurd. I mean, that's like set in stone for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They put their I don't know if it's a commercial or like their trailer for it. It's literally Judge and Garrett Cole in the home and away uniform, and like they both don't look happy.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not. Yeah, it's definitely annoying that they're gonna like ruin a tradition like that. I mean, I literally would have rather them put the names in the back of the jerseys before something like that.
Mm-hmm. Same. At this point, like, what does it matter? Just let them get facial hair, like,
Yeah.
do the whole 9 yards at this point,
Yeah, no, I mean, especially the way that we've been playing, you might as well.
right?
Need a little switch up. But yeah, no, that's some good bit of information. I think we pretty much covered everything today. We'll be back soon. Thank you.
Thank you.